Hello folks, this episode may contain adult themes and swear words, mainly because I can't be asked to edit them out anymore. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the British and Irish Lions Tour specials to South Africa. As ever, Ollie will be here and we will be looking at the games that have most recently been played, namely between South Africa A, can you call it an A team? An A, South Africa plus a little bit, minus a little bit. Either way, we're going to be checking that game out. We're also going to be checking out the most recent game against the Stormers that took place on Saturday. Really enjoyed that game, and they certainly made a game of it in the initial stages against the Lions. What else are we going to check out? We'll have a little look at the most recent news and events, as ever, provided by the BBC. Not sure we should be doing it, really. Maybe there's some kind of copyright infringement, I don't know, but who cares? Nobody's caught us yet. And we will also have a little check-in on any internationals that took place. I've got a little feeling that Wales might have lost to Argentina. What else is there coming up? We will also have a little chat about our sort of selections, who we feel should be in that first test starting team. Personally, the way things are going and the way he played, and I know it would be a big shout, Marcus Smith starting at 10 would be my choice. Anyway, I have waffled on enough. Let's just crack on. Hello, amigo. How are you? Is it hot enough for you, baby?
Amigo, hello, mate. How are you? I'm hot. Yeah, hot. It's pretty hot.
Are you sweatier than you've ever been sweatier than before, just literally doing nothing?
No, I'm actually, to be honest, mate, at this precise moment, I'm all right because I am out and about working today, and fortunately, I've got a very fancy high-spec works vehicle, so air conditioning and the lot. So, I'm nice and cool, mate, actually, right at this moment. But it is so hot, isn't it? It's great.
Well, I don't know if it's great, mate.
It's great. You can't complain.
We can complain. We complain when it rains and we complain when it's too hot because we're English and that's what we
do.
Too
much rain. When's the summer coming? And then it comes and oh no, it's too
hot. Mate, it is just too hot. Again, it's another week where I'm sat in my pants. No shoes or socks this week. That's how hot I am. Anyway, we're obviously not here to talk about my clothing situation. We're here to talk about ruggers. So should we get down to business? We're coming up to the first test of the Lions Tour of South Africa.
Yeah.
But let's just go back a week. Let's look at the South Africa A game, then the Stormers game. Yep. Then we'll maybe have a chat about our selection, who we would select. Probably going to be some disagreements. We'll check out the news. I don't think there's a great amount of news really. And maybe just tap in on the internationals that did take place over the weekend. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good, mate. That should pretty much cover the lot, shouldn't it?
I think so. So let's just go back. South Africa A, South Africa, proper South Africa A with some big names. What did you think of that game?
Well, it was definitely the first proper contest of the tour so far.
I would agree.
Yeah, no, it was a cracker, really, wasn't it, mate? Considering every other pre-test game so far, and I know we're going to cover the Stormers, but in reality, including the Stormers, it's just been too one-sided, hasn't it? Which we kind of all knew it would be, but it's the way it's panned out. But it's it's just nice to see a proper
ding dong.
And as we know as well, I mean, it's you could argue that was at least half, if not probably more than half, sort of full first choice box side, wasn't it? So
yeah,
good. It was good. It was a good run. It's good to see. Good to really test the guys. I think overall, to be honest, I'm concerned that we lost that one. I think that is a game that sort of what you said mentally and keeping momentum and all that sort of thing. That really the Lions should have won.
Mate, we're all Lions until the series is over. Every single one of us. Don't worry, we's fine.
But yeah, no, I personally, I don't know what you think. I personally think I wasn't surprised that South Africa performed, especially in the first half, the way they did. And to all due respect to them, considering how little rugby they played, isn't it, and how derailed their training's been since they've been in the sort of Lions prep camp. They they came out pretty strong, didn't they? Came out of the blocks pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I would totally agree with you. Absolutely. I think that's probably, I think last week we talked about, is it going to really, who's it going to bother the most if they win or lose? And I think you're probably right. It does worry. It would bother the Lions more maybe than South Africa, because like everything you've just mentioned, all the kind of hardships they've had, etc. But I think also South Africa were probably always going to come out of the blocks kicking and screaming like they did do. They fronted up, they were physical, they dominated, and we were just not at the races, full stop. Okay. But I think in the second half, I think the Lions did grow into the game. They got more clarity, they got more cohesion between the players. And obviously, don't forget, Dan Biggar was supposed to be playing in that game, but obviously stepped out. Owen Farrell came in. Josh Adams stepped out because obviously I think it was baby time, wasn't it, for him? Is that right? I think, yeah.
Josh Adams, yeah, it was.
Yeah. So there was. What I'm saying is there was some disruption from the in respect to the Lions as well. But yeah, absolutely. South Africa were quite clearly came out to play. I think what's going to probably be the most telling factor is, can South Africa sustain it for the full 80 minutes? I think they come sort of half time, they looked a bit like they were blowing out their asses a bit, and 20 minutes towards the end, it kind of looked like the same kind of scenario. But that's when the Lions should really have capitalized on the lack of fitness potentially for the box, and how their physical edge kind of dipped off a little bit. And I don't think realistically we really made the time period when they had those 2 yellow cards count. I think we should have been more decisive. And I think if we'd have got that try just before half time, when they were constantly tapping and going, banging on that door, and the box was just stopping them at source, it could have been a different story maybe. But I think it was a hit out that the Lions absolutely needed, because like you said, the games leading up to that have been very one-sided. And it just, lots of other podcasts are kind of saying, people weren't interested as much as they could have been in normal tours because of the quality of competition and the fact there's no fans. But that game kind of really ignited, the desire and the fact that, we are getting closer to this opening test game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there has been a lot of negative talk actually, mate. And I personally, I don't really like that. I think.
No, I agree. I don't like it.
And I think there was people before this South Africa A game, sort of a week or so ago, suggesting maybe that they should stop the tour and finish it off over on UK or whatever, isn't it? And I don't really see the point in that. Like everything throughout all parts of life have been massively disrupted by COVID. So I think we should just be appreciative that we got some rugby. This tour's been able to go ahead. No, it's not going to be the same, and it's not going to be arguably as good as any other a sort of normal Lions tour. But let's just crack on. The boys are out there now, isn't it? So let's just get on and hopefully, COVID permitting, actually get the games done and the tests done and make the most. That's my view. But
no, mate, I totally agree. And obviously, from our perspective, we were lucky enough to be in Australia in 2001. When the Lions toured over there, and it was, having all the fans and stuff, and going out in the pubs and stuff, and seeing the seas of red, and just mingling with people.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
That were there for the same kind of purpose as you guys, or us, should I say, was fantastic. So yes, this tour is completely different. It's a one-off tour. Fingers crossed, this kind of doesn't happen again, and future tours will be as they always have been, the build up through literally the entire series. But I just think, although the Lions lost, I think they probably learnt quite a lot about the box. And I do wonder, I don't think the box maybe learnt as much as they would like about the Lions. I think Gatlin's and Townsend are probably shrewd enough to keep a few things under the radar, and we might see a different kind of way of play from the Lions in the first test.
Yeah, you'd certainly hope so, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't think either side are going to not showing their full set of cards, are they, at this stage? But yeah, I mean, just what you described there, when we sort of camped on their line and just pick and go, you ain't gonna get anywhere against South Africa doing that, are you? And we didn't. So you'd certainly argue, hopefully, that was just a tactic employed for the South Africa A game, and that sort of style of rugby won't be part of the Test series. But I agree, mate. I think there's negatives, personally, positives and negatives for both sides, but probably more positives in my view, for South Africa, because they won the game.
No,
but yeah,
enough.
but I think they definitely did tire, didn't they, in the second half? So that's a positive for the Lions. Obviously, the more we get into the Test series, the be. So I personally, I think, although we lost and it is a negative, and I think we should have won. Obviously, it's not the end of the world because it's not a Test game, isn't it? So for me, it's Test number one is critical. I think if we lose that, then we're in trouble. But
yeah, it's going to be very difficult if we lose that opening game, definitely. So should we move on to the Stormers game? And I actually really enjoyed this game. I thought, out of all the sort of provincial side, the Stormers started off really well. I was sat there watching it and thinking, this game's not in doubt. The Stormers aren't going to kind of go away and win this one. We will come good in the end. Again, the fitness telling towards the end of the game in the last sort of 20 minutes. But I just thought the Stormers fronted up a lot better and made more of a game of it, maybe than the Sharks had. And
yeah,
what were your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much the same, mate. It was actually, like you say, it's probably the best of the other than the South Africa game, the best of the pre-Test games, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think they are. I'm not an expert on the South African sides, but I think they are the strongest side. I think, and they're missing the most internationals, aren't they? Bok call up. So I think they are certainly one of the stronger, if not the strongest. But yeah, it was a good game, mate, and it's good to see. It was the last chance for guys to sort of put their hand up for a test squad spot as well, isn't it? So a few guys did pretty well. Luke Cowan-Dickie being probably top of the pile, wasn't he? But
his chop tackling was just fantastic, and I think Marcus Smith brought a new element as well, mate. And I know obviously he's fresh on tour and stuff, but he was fantastic, mate. I don't know whether it's just the fact that it's his youth, and he's got like all the tricks in the box and things like that. But he just brought a much more dynamic, attack-minded kind of play. And I'm not. Although we'll talk about our selections in a minute, I just think he was fantastic. And what an achievement he had. He didn't kind of, if you're thrust onto that kind of scene of starting a game for the Lions, you might kind of become a little bit insular and be a bit more, reserved. But I just don't think he did that. I just think he went out and played the kind of game that he knows and kind of let the game flow from that point. I just didn't see him make maybe one. I think he made one error in the whole game.
Yeah, the guy's just had an unbelievable, a couple of seasons, but in particular the last couple of months, we all know what he's achieved, isn't it? It's like it's beyond belief almost what he's done, isn't it? But yeah, to just come in. I mean, I don't know, what did he have, 3 days or something training with the Lions before that?
Got every kick.
Yeah, slotted every kick. So yeah, you put comparison to the other guys out there, Farrell and Bigger and everything. His kicking is on point, isn't it? But yeah, he does. He just brings that. I mean, he's been brought in as the Finn Russell replacement, and he's a lot of similarities in what he can do to Finn Russell, isn't it? But I actually thought he was. It was a very measured, controlled performance, which was good to see. That's showing that he's sort of matured, gained experience and matured as a 10, isn't it? I thought he warmed into the game basically. I thought, like you say, he wasn't I thought he was sort of played the game in a more controlled, conservative way to begin with, but as the game went on to it, and obviously the scoreline started to build a bit, then he started to loosen up, didn't he? And especially in the sort of second half and last 20 minutes. It was the Marcus Smith we've come to see week in, week out for Harlequins, wasn't it? With the
absolutely.
stepping and everything in your own 22, wasn't it? So,
oh mate, that try that if you look ahead to future line tours, him and Louis Rees-Zammit, they're going to be amongst it every 4 years, aren't they? Unless they're injured or their form really drops. They were just both fantastic and on fire. Sorry, mate, I just want to rewind just to the South Africa game. Fafi's tackle, yellow card. Do you think it was a red?
Red card, yeah, mate. Yeah.
You thought it was a red?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah,
it was a head-on-head collision from what I saw. So that's to me that's a red. But yeah, but there you go. It wasn't.
It wasn't. So there we go. Absolutely.
But yeah, yeah, it was
an interesting one,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was a few what I thought were interesting referee decisions there, but it was a fairly loose sort of open game in many ways, wasn't it? Sort of letting the rugby flow a bit more than maybe it could have, which you could argue is a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd agree.
Play, isn't it? But yeah, in my view, that was a red card.
No, I agree.
Well, not a comparable one, but a similar one, which we'll probably get onto, but in one of the other international games this weekend, wasn't it? Which was given a red, but in my view, that wasn't, and I think it's been rescinded since. But
yes, I like that. Well, should we tip off the Lions chat and come back to it? Let's just go into.
Well, the thing I want to say, we mentioned Luke. The other guy I wanted to mention from that South Africa A game, mate, was Tom Curry, mate. I just thought it's just on another level, mate. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he completely
so hard.
He completely put his hand up and stood up and said, "Yeah, I'm your back row, mate." Well, not all positions, but I'm one of the three, definitely.
And I think you can't match physically, as in pound for pound size and pound for pound match the South Africans, but you got to have guys in your team that with that level of physicality just to take them on, isn't it? Like in the right way, do you know what I mean? In a smart physical way, which is what is how he plays, isn't it? He's just
oh my God,
and just a right pain in the ass to play against, isn't he? Which is I thought he was outstanding, mate. Outstanding.
Yeah, lots of guys put their hands up. I have to be fair in that game. It was Gatland's got tough choices to make, mate. I think, which makes it even more entertaining and fun for the people watching. Maybe not so much.
It really is, mate. But you wouldn't want it any other way, would you?
No.
Really, it's good. It's great that it's there's so many tough calls in so many positions, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's just sidetrack from the Lions. We'll come back to in a second. The internationals that also took place on the weekend. Fiji sadly got a bit more of a pasting from New Zealand this week, 60-13. So that was a little bit disappointing from Fiji's perspective. But obviously the New Zealand war machine rolls on. I didn't get to see that one, so yeah. Can't really
I in all honesty, mate, I didn't either. But obviously check the game out since. But I think we kind of suggested that unfortunately might be the case because they really went at them in the first test, didn't they? And I think it probably took New Zealand a little bit, surprisingly, took New Zealand a bit by surprise. But New Zealand just did what New Zealand do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Take a pound of flesh off us this week, we'll take 3 off you next week or whatever, isn't it? But I think overall, over the 2 tests, it's just great to see Fiji are really contesting with New Zealand in big parts of both games, isn't it? So,
well, there's talk now, isn't there, about the Southern Hemisphere, including Fiji and Japan in it, and I think that needs to happen just for the overall kind of development of the country's games. Japan and Fiji. It might be a case they get a kick in for a few seasons each game, but at least they're building and getting that kind of high intensity match experience that they, ultimately they really need to be world-class contenders.
Indeed, mate. I actually think that's a fantastic idea, and it's you'd have basically a sort of Southern Hemisphere Six Nations then, isn't it? Which would be pretty awesome if you've got sort of a Six Nations over our side that we do, which is the historical, traditional Northern Hemisphere best tournament in the world.
Absolutely.
And then a Six Nations down there with the current 4 plus Fiji and Japan, isn't it?
Be interesting.
You see how much Argentina have come on since they've been playing those guys regularly, the Southern Hemisphere teams regularly. And it'll be exactly the same for Japan and Fiji, I think, isn't it? Which is what we want to see, isn't it?
Which is only a good thing for the overall game, mate, isn't it?
Definitely.
So you obviously alluded to a red card that I'm assuming you're talking about took place in the France-Australia game.
Yep.
Obviously, it went into this Saturday 1-1 in the series. Unfortunately, the French do what they do and kind of went off the boil at the end, losing 33-30. But I'm assuming you're talking about the red card that happened. Was it Corabetti?
Corabetti, yeah, right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning, 5 minutes in, they lost that guy.
Yep. Yeah. For me, I when it happened, I mean, I actually got to watch pretty much all of that game. Cracking game of rugby, entertainment-wise. But yeah, just watching that sort of live, I when it happened, I just thought, no, that's not a red card. That's not a red card. That is, in my opinion, he did make contact with is it Giraldi or something, the French number 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Exact pronunciation of his name, but he did make contact. But in my view, I think it was a shoulder height going up to the head. But in my view, I think it was a fair, well timed, basically technique wise, a good tackle. But the French number 8 was dipping, and he was dipping into the tackle. So it was always going to be what was originally sort of chest to shoulder was going to be shoulder and above sort of thing. So yeah, I just thought personally it was a poor decision, and they took so long over it. Did you actually watch it, mate, or did you?
No, mate. Unfortunately, I didn't. No.
Yeah, the sort of touch urge TMO and everything. They took so long over it, and they almost talked themselves into having to do a red card, saying, "Oh, there was head collision there and no mitigation," and they were saying this, all out loud sort of thing for everyone to hear. So they had no option really in the game to actually go for the red card then. But anyway, I just it's one of those, isn't it? And now, just to make even more ridiculous on this overall red card, head collision, high tackle situation that's been going on this season is, since then the red card's been by an independent party has been receded, isn't it? So, which is just
doesn't make sense.
I agree with that even less than the decision made. Like, what to me, once if the on the pitch decision is made, that's it. It's a red card. But if you want to reduce a ban, that's a different story, isn't it? But red card given in games, a red card as far as I'm concerned. Once the final whistle's gone, it's. But anyway, it's just it needs sorting, doesn't it? And it needs everyone across the globe playing and to the same rules and referee to the same standards as well, isn't it? That's the problem.
Absolutely, mate. It does all need addressing on a more kind of global, should we say, scale. But it's still good. I guess, will France be happy with a 2-1 loss? Probably not. They probably thought they could have taken it, actually, to be fair.
They should have won that game, and they're against 14 men for pretty much the full 80 minutes, weren't they?
Yeah, I think they probably should have won the first game, mate, really, if I'm in all honesty, from what I remember.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose overall, there's a lot of positive to take away, isn't it? Because it was nowhere near a full strength French squad, and
no, a lot of strength in depth.
Yeah, they've done pretty well in a 3-test series against the Aussies, haven't they? So
yeah, especially with the World Cup coming up in France, they're laying a good foundation for that event, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, Argentina put Wales to the sword, 33-11 overall victory there. So I guess they'll be happy to get one back up on the Welsh.
Yeah, again, I didn't actually get to watch that one live, mate, but I think it was a fairly inexperienced, should we say, Welsh side, wasn't it? In the Welsh.
Oh, I don't know, mate. There's a few. Tompkins was playing. Will Rowlands was playing. Moriarty was playing. There is overall. I guess you'd probably say it was an inexperienced Welsh side. Probably not even a proper Welsh side. Probably a Welsh A team, really.
Yeah, you look at the Welsh guys that are out in the British Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair enough.
But still, well done Argentina. They obviously
Argentina, yeah.
Upped it this week, didn't they?
Up their game, absolutely. Okay, mate. That's it from the international front. let's just have a little quick flick through the news. And like I said, there's no real significant news other than Richard Cockrell has left Edinburgh, apparently, Edinburgh by mutual consent.
Yeah.
After I didn't realise he'd been up there so long, 4 years in charge. And he's left by mutual consent.
Yeah, he's been up there a little while, hasn't he? But yeah, I actually just heard that today, mate, this morning. But yeah, I don't know anything more than that, to be honest.
No.
It says mutual consent, but
how does that look, I guess?
Exactly, yes. It's very rarely is mutual consent. So whose decision it was, I don't know, and whether or not he's already...
Maybe he's going back to Tigers.
Back to Tigers?
No, I don't know. I'm only joking. He's probably not going back to Tigers.
Well, I think he talked about wanting to coach in France.
Oh, yeah, because he was over in Toulon, wasn't he?
Yeah, but wasn't that in an assistant role?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's got sort of aspirations to do that. So that could well be what will be announced soon. But I don't know. I don't know. Prem wise, is there anyone actually needing a head coach or DOR at the moment?
I don't know, mate. We're not. No. Mate, just listen. Literally up to date breaking news coming live from the BBC as ever. Sia Khaleesi has recovered from COVID-19 to be named in the starting 15 to face the British and Irish Lions on Saturday. More to follow, mate. It's literally that breaking. There's no actual context other than more to follow.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought that might happen because they're all keeping really quiet about it. So it's like
it's like one of them.
Lions have brought out the Alan Wynne Jones rabbit out of the hat, haven't they? So
yeah, the Bionic Man is back. And,
we can do it too with Khaleesi and recover from COVID and
be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You want full strength size, don't you? So
yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. And England have announced they're going to face Tonga in the first of their autumn internationals. So that's good. I would hope that maybe
are they in our World Cup squad?
In our World Cup group?
Group.
I'm not sure, mate. God, I can't remember. I just think it's great that Tonga have been given an opportunity to play England, but I just hope that Eddie maybe doesn't go full strength just to make a bit more, so it's not just like an 80-point drubbing. And you know, that's like we said over the last couple of weeks, that's just no good for anybody, is it? So
yeah, so that'll be autumn internationals
this November.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking out loud. I'll stop.
Oh, okay. Let's get back to Lions chat, mate. So obviously there's lots of people saying lots of things about who and who should not be in their Lions squad. Me and you both use the Lions app to make our prediction. I've posted it on Twitter today. There's been no feedback yet, which is maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I don't know. I'm just going to go through your team, and then we'll go through mine, and we'll compare notes and see where we come out at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you have gone for Wyn Jones, Jamie George, Tad Furlong, Alan Wynne, Maro Itoje, Tag Byrne, Tom Curry at number 8, Hamish Watson, Conor Murray, Dan Biggar, Owen Farrell, Robbie Henshaw, Liam Williams, Stuart Hogg, Anthony Watson. Doesn't give you an option to discuss the bench, okay? So then,
are we going to discuss bench? Let's do 15 and then we'll do bench.
Yeah, absolutely. So I went quite contrasting in my team, really. I went Rory Sutherland, Luke Cowan-Dickie, Tad Furlong, Adam Beard, Maro Itoje, Tom Curry at 6, Jack Conan at 8, Hamish Watson, Ali Price, Marcus Smith, Owen Farrell, Robbie Henshaw, Josh Adams, Liam Williams, Anthony Watson. Discuss.
Okay, so I've gone for, to be honest, mate, I've probably gone for more the guys who I think can do the job, obviously. I've gone for more what I think Gatland might go for than necessarily what I would go for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I see you put Marcus Smith in, because if I was choosing a side, I'd just go guns a-blazing, tack, and have a back line, Marcus Smith, Lewis Rees-Zammit, and probably Ali Price at 9, centres of maybe Farrell, and I think Daly's been brilliant so far. So certainly attack-wise, I know his defence can be a bit questionable, but if you're talking just going for it and attack and having a real go at them, then him at 13, Lewis Rees-Zammit, Anthony Watson, and Hogg. So that would be my attacking backline. But anyway, so I've gone for a kind of a little bit of what I think Gatland might go for, but also what I've seen and what I think's needed to take on the South African side, because we all know you can't match them. Everyone's discussed it. We've discussed it. Pound for pound, size in the pack, you can't just go toe to toe and take them on like that. But you do need guys who will go at them and fight and really disrupt, and breakdown in particular is critical. I think that's where we suffered badly after a game. We were just completely off at the breakdown. They smashed us in the breakdown, and I think.
So you like, I mean, obviously you and I have both selected Corey and Hamish Watson on the back row, two scavengers.
Yep.
And I think that is what's needed, like you say, to get over Jacqueline and getting the ball. So, but I think also Jack Conan is a bit like that as well, which is why I kind of put him in over Toby Faletau.
Fair play. And Byrne is as well, isn't he? He's I've gone for Byrne because I think he is form-wise one of the guys who's been on the best form out of the back rowers. One of them, and I think he just brings a bit extra. He's got size, physicality. It's almost complete all round as a back row and a six, isn't it? He's got size and physicality. He's decent in the line out. His breakdowns and jackling is good, and he's also very, very skillful, ball in hand. So that's why I went for it, because I thought I sort of considered maybe Courtney Laws.
I agree.
Great player, physicality and all that, but for me, Byrne just got that extra bit on open play and ball in hand and that sort of thing to me. And I gone for it was a tough. I wasn't so sure number 8, but I've gone for Tom Curry there, and really I've gone for Tom Curry for 2 reasons. A, because of that performance he did in South Africa, and I just think you just need guys like that who are going to just fight every tooth and nail ounce they've got against the box, isn't it? And he's played 8 before and never let England down when he has done it. And also, of the 8s that are out there, Conan has been the form guy. You've picked him, haven't you? But I don't think any of them have been what I would say is outstanding. Personally, I think Gatland might go for Faletau just because he knows him and he's
I hope not.
arguably a test animal and all the rest of it, isn't it? But I just don't think any of them have been. None of them have put their hand up to solidify that test shirt, have they? In my view. But you've got other back rowers who are more than putting their hand up, isn't it? So Hamish Watson, Curry can just get in and just be a right pain in the ass to the South African, and Tagburn similar really. So that's why I've chosen that as a back row. We're starting in the back row, which is a strange place to start, but there we are.
Yeah, because considering neither of us have really done any back row work.
Carry on. Go.
No, I was just going to say. So obviously you went for Alan Wynne-Jones, and I went for Jake Ball. Only joking, Adam Beard. I just think it's so difficult, isn't it? Because I don't know. I just think it's really harsh that if Alan Wynne just does come back in, because Adam Beard's played really well. You could say Ian Henderson's played really well, and this is what I've kind of said over the last couple of weeks. So if he does come back,
would you bench Alan Wynne?
I probably would, but then
I personally, this is just my personal view. I think you either start him or you don't have him in the 23.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because what does he actually bring off the bench? He's not a dynamic player to bring off the bench like an Adam Beard could be. So I was really umming and ahhing, but I just think the fact that the other guys have been there, I probably wouldn't even have Alan Wynne in the first test team.
Yeah, no, and I've considered that as well. The reason I wouldn't go for him on the bench for this one is because what we don't know, and only the medical guys know, is actually sort of how fit and he's come back rather quickly, as we all know, and how strong that shoulder is, isn't it? So if he's going to go down in that game, it's better off he's starting, and you've got your replacement on the bench to replace him. Whereas if he comes off the bench, then you're stumped, aren't you? But so from that point of view, I think it's too risky. But I've just gone for him, mate, because I just think he is.
He is what he is.
He's Alan Wynne-Jones, mate. He's the standout lead. He's becoming more and more that one of those just iconic British Lion leaders, isn't he? So I think he is standout compared to any of the other leaders in the group. He is standout from that. So I think that makes a huge difference. In particular, the first test, it's just going to be a cauldron, isn't it? It's just going to be so intense, so physical. It's just going to be, and he's because he's got that standout leadership and that experience of leadership. He's got that cool head for not losing it, making the right decisions, and potentially calming his teammates down and all the rest of it, isn't it? So that's where I've gone for him. Not necessarily for what he's going to do himself as a player, but literally just to because he is that leader. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Let's just look at another position. So you went with I went with Cowan Dickey. You went with Jamie George.
Yep.
I mean, again, I guess there's the whole, what does Jamie George add coming off the bench? But he does add stuff coming off the bench. Luke Cowan Dickey obviously adds stuff coming off the bench. I don't think Ken Owens has really shown enough to warrant being, even up for selection. I think those two have been the standout two over the kind of course of the tour. Cowan Dickey, like you said, was immense against the Stormers. And primarily that's why I've kind of put him in there, because I just think if we go out and he's in there chop tackling people left, right, and centre, he's getting in their faces a bit like an extra back row, then it makes that difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree, man. I actually, that was a tough call for me as well. And going on, I think Cowan Dickey is the form hooker.
Yeah.
As in, if you're just choosing 1, 2, 3, I would also put Cowan Dickey 1. But I've gone for, but basically a reason for my overall selection, the bench comes into it as well, is I've gone for what I would call a bit more of a steady ship starting 15, and then real impact players coming off the bench for potentially when the South Africans do start to tire a bit, and you've got the guys who can really go at them and run the ball a bit more and that sort of thing. So Luke Cowan Dickey for me is more of an impact off the bench than Jamie George, and also in the line of that sort of steady ship starting from the kickoff. I think the Jamie George has got an extra feather in his cap because Mario Toji is pretty crucial in the line out, and those two know each other like the back of their hand, hooker and jumper. So I think that's pretty important for your set piece line outs.
So you're looking at teams within teams again then.
Sorry?
You're looking at kind of like teams within teams.
Yeah. Sort of player.
I get.
They know each other, don't they?
I get that.
And the line, well, we all know the set piece has got to be absolutely on point, hasn't it? Against every sort of little edge you can get is critical, isn't it? So whereas Cowan Dickey and that doesn't play week in, week out with either of the second rows. Georgie does with Toji, doesn't he? So that was my reasoning.
It's very good reasoning.
Just going totally on form, I would also say he's the top form hooker.
Okay. I guess that's why Gatland gets paid the big bucks to make these choices, isn't he? He has more of that kind of.
Yeah, he'll probably go to Ken Owens, right?
Yeah, probably will, mate. And we'll be absolutely like, well, what the fuck do we know? We don't know fuck all. So, sorry, mate. I'm just trying to eat some crisps.
Props. You go first because you're the prop.
I am. Well, I just think I don't. Again, I don't think there's any kind of way you can't pick Tag Furlong. I think he's the one.
Shoe-in, yeah.
Shoe-in.
Off the bench.
Yeah, Sinclair off the bench, definitely. And I just think Rory Sutherland, although I'm probably going to get slated now, although his scrummaging might not be as good as Wynne-Jones, I just think he offers more dynamism around the field. So that's, and he has, And
Who
again, teams within
who on the bench
teams.
for him?
Probably Mako. No,
Yeah.
Win Jones on the bench.
See, I've got Mako for that impact again.
No, I don't think Mako's played that well, to be fair. But
because I thought South Africa Mako and Wyn Jones were two guys who made a bit of a difference physically against the or had an impact, shall I say?
yeah,
Not all players did, and but a few of them stood out to me. Obviously, Tom Curry being the standout one, but thought those two both. And actually, I wasn't considering wouldn't pre that game. I wasn't really considering Wyn Jones as starter. I was same as you, Rory Sutherland, but I thought he really took it to him.
yeah.
So that's why I personally went for him. But you can have dibs on that. You're the prop, mate.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. So let's go to. There's only really two more positions I want to chat about because I'm just very aware that we're chatting quite a lot here.
Good chat, Lions.
Yeah, Lions, mate. Ali Price at 9. You obviously went Conor Murray. Again, I think Ali Price has been in better form on tour. You're probably going to turn and say Conor Murray's obviously got the experience. I don't know, mate. I think if we need fast ball, I don't think we should be taking the box on up front. I think we need fast ball, run their fucking feet off. And Ali Price is probably more the one to do that. But Gatland might not think that way.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I think Ali Price, especially in the last few games, he is the form 9. So yeah, if I was, I think I said at the beginning, if I was going sort of all guns blazing, attack, then he'd definitely be in for me. I personally, I'd put him on the bench to come on as a, change the game impact style 9.
Yeah.
And Conor Murray, I've gone for all the reasons that I think Gatland might, like you've just said, with experience. He's a third-time Lions tourer, leadership, and safe pair of hands.
And good at box kicking.
Hopefully good at box kicking. Yeah, agree. His service has not been great, but he's one of those guys. Hopefully he'll up it for the big game. And if you've got someone like Ali Price who can come on at potentially sort of 60 minutes or something to, if you need to
finish
up the
it
tempo,
off,
change the game a little bit or whatever it needs, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So obviously I went for Marcus Smith. You went for Dan Biggar. I did go for Marcus Smith, mainly because I just wanted to see how you would react to that. But I do think he should be on the bench. Genuinely, I think he showed enough in that game where we've sort of said if you do need someone to come on and change the game when the box are flagging, because I do genuinely believe they will flag because their fitness isn't going to be as good as it could be, he would be the one to do that.
Yeah, and I haven't put him on the bench for me, mate. But I wanted to find a spacer on the bench, but I think it's your bench is about your it's about position coverage as well, isn't it? So that probably depends on then who you go for in the centres and everything else, isn't it? So, but yeah, I would love to see it, mate. I would love to see him starting and absolutely just do what he's been doing and take it to the next level again and show the Springboks how we can. Yeah. But my concern is it might just be a step too far at this moment for his progression. And I don't think he's the kind of guy anyway. As I'm saying it, I'm talking myself out of it, sort of thing. But he's a mentally strong guy and massively driven. But you wouldn't want anything to knock him back on this rise and this development that he's going through, isn't it? I think he like all the young players, they need to be managed right and put into essentially the proper international cauldron at the right time, isn't it? And is Test 1 against the Springboks the right time to bring? He's only had 3 international games under his belt, hasn't he? Two relatively smooth England games, and then not international quality opposition for his first Lions test. Wasn't it?
I know what you mean, mate. I know. I get that. I do get that. That's fine. I understand.
It might be a bit harsh, in all honesty, to to put him straight in as a starter. But yeah, maybe off the bench, and I'd love to see personally him sort of eased and warmed into it, and maybe seeing him making an impact in Test 2 and 3 sort of thing, But that's my view. And Bigger, I just think Bigger's a shoe-in, to be honest, mate. I think we haven't seen him for a few weeks. Gatland's been he's had him in Cotton Wool, isn't he? I think he is his 10. So I think that's
no, that's fair enough, mate.
one of those positions that's is done and dusted, if you know what I mean. But he could get injured.
Yeah, well, mate, anything can happen, couldn't it? Injuries quite easily could happen. So, and then there might be no choice.
Yep.
You went for Stuart Hogg at fullback.
I did.
I'm intrigued. Again, I don't think he's been in the best form.
No, but he's building. He's building his form since he's come back from being isolated.
Yeah.
But mate, he's just when to be honest, his overall as a sort of all-round complete fullback, in my opinion, to the other guys that are out there, he's just that next level when all the guys are sort of top form and fully firing. And I just think he's a leader in the group anyway. He is a leader. He's definitely a lead from the front, 110% kind of player, which you need against the box anyway. And he can do that little bit of magic every now and then. So yeah, I've gone for him at fullback. And the other two, I think you've picked in your back three anyway. But you put Williams at fullback. I've gone for Liam Williams and Watson on the wings.
No Josh Adam, leading try scorer.
Yeah.
Mental.
Well, yeah, but you say that, but like fair play, like the guy's on fire and scored obviously loads of tries, but actually it's not against the Springboks, is it? It's against a relatively weak opposition, isn't it?
As long as he gets me the highest try scorer record, mate, I'm all right.
Liam Williams, Watson for me is number one winger on form. I just think he's in outstanding form at the moment. Although he's not scoring all the tries like Josh Adams, his all-round game for me is he's on fire. And then Liam Williams, he's again, I just massively rate that guy as a big game player, and his aerial ability is the big thing which he's got over Adams, in my opinion. Not saying Adams is weak, but Williams has got that little bit extra, and I think that is a tactic probably that the box will be using.
Yeah.
So we've got to make sure we've got the cover there, isn't it? And Watson and Williams, there's no two better than them.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why I've gone for that back three.
Fair enough.
You've gone for Josh Adams instead of Hogg, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, and I had Williams at fullback, primarily for his aerial ability at fullback. He obviously played in New Zealand at fullback, and I just don't think Hogg's been in the best of form. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, mate. At the end of the day, I think what we can say, selecting this Lions team for Gatland, he has got probably the biggest headache pretty much in every position, bar like Maro Itoje and Tad Furlong. The choices he's got to make. You're going to have guys that are disappointed, and guys that are exceptionally happy.
Yeah, he just using the back three. Lewis Rees-Zammit, unreal.
Well, Van der
Merwe's been on fire, isn't he? Like especially sort of physically going forward and attack wise, he's been...
out of Zammit and Van der Merwe, who would you have on the bench out of those two? Who would you want to go rapid pace, or would you again a bigger?
Mate, I'd go Zammit personally.
Yeah, I think I would when it's a little bit tired, if that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, and again, like there's all this talk of like Van der Merwe is got the physicality to potentially compete, but do you actually want to be going toe to toe?
No, exactly.
Let's try and play some rugby and run around these guys rather than trying to run straight through them, sort of thing, isn't it? So,
and I think quite a few episodes back, I might have said that's going to be the plan, isn't it? Maybe the kind of I think originally I said start off going toe to toe and then spread it wide when everybody's a bit knackered.
Yeah.
But I think maybe spreading it wide and moving the box needs to be the game plan right from the kickoff. Is get them big lumps moving and absolutely knacker them out.
Yeah, agreed. But obviously in a controlled
Yeah.
in a controlled way. Not just loose ball, is it? It's
No, not just play.
it might open up and get a bit looser when they do tire and hopefully tire in the second half.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I've gone for bench. So we covered the 15.
Yeah, I think so.
Centres.
Centres. I went for Farrell and Henshaw, didn't I?
Did you?
I think so. Yeah, Farrell and Henshaw. You went for Farrell and Henshaw. I went for. Chris Harris obviously has been a bit of a favourite of mine, but I think Farrell and Henshaw just bring a bit more solidity to the centre partnership. But I could see Gatlin going Aki and Henshaw.
I don't think he will, mate.
I don't know.
To be honest, I haven't been that impressed with Aki in that South Africa game. For me, he's obviously not a bad player, but his strength is trying to go match that physicality.
Yeah, route one
with him, isn't it? But I think he came off second best, in all honesty. Delande, and I've gone completely blank on isn't it?
Yeah,
he was just unreal, wasn't he?
Yeah, I've never even heard of the guy.
No, in all honesty, mate, I had, and I thought he had literally a spotless game in attack and defence. He was just everywhere, wasn't he? He was so there's no point trying to do crash ball, route wall, take them on toe for toe. You got to do something a bit different, in my view. But obviously, you got to defend and be able to physically defend against them. But attack wise, you got to and hope Gatland with Townsend got a few tricks up the sleeve, but we shall see, mate.
We shall.
What have you gone for bench? Let's quickly run through the bench.
So bench, I went Wyn Jones, Jamie George, Courtney Laws, Tagburn, and Conor Murray, Elliot Daly, and Louis Rees-Zammit. I've gone for 5-3.
Yeah, that's the same. I've gone 5-3 as well, mate. I went for Mako, Luke Cowan-Dickey, Sinclair, front row replacements. Impact.
I forgot Sinclair, didn't I?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We did say him earlier, mate. And then what did I go for in off the bench for? So that's the front row replacements. And then I had Henderson.
Okay.
And Faletau.
Okay. So your backs were the same as mine, obviously. Ali Price, Conor Murray switching around.
Ali Price, Daly, and Louis Rees-Zammit.
Yeah. Tough decisions, mate. Not to go back to it, but it's a hell of a conundrum for Gatland and his coaching staff.
Yeah. Can't wait, mate. Can't wait.
No. Do you feel like you're more excited about it now?
Oh, definitely, yeah. But
I agree.
I don't think that's because a lot of people are saying that's because of how rubbish this tour is. That's partly just the nature of the Lions tour, isn't it? Like the closer you get the first test game, the excitement builds, doesn't it? But
absolutely.
Yeah, but definitely, yeah. That South Africa A game massively helped to sort of up the ante and the excitement, didn't it?
Yeah, I'd agree.
And I think the team they put out against who did they lose to?
The Bulls.
Yeah, that was more what you would have expected a South Africa A side to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's great because the way it's turned out is it almost was like we've said a sort of fourth test and added that extra excitement to the tour, isn't it? So
added extra spice to the occasion.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Anything else you want to chat about, or are we all good?
What, in life in general, or rugby?
I don't know, mate. I'm just looking forward to the rain.
Take that off pod, sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rain on Friday, where I'm not just walking around in my pants.
Does it rain Friday? Is it?
I think it's rain all weekend, which is a good day to be sat in front of the first test for the Lions, mate. Make sure the kids are all settled. Bang, bang, bang. Lions, Lions, Lions.
I'm going down the pub, mate.
No, you're not.
I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
You've got an away day pass, have you?
Yep. Done, dusted, mate. Sealed.
Wow.
Got it in writing. Got it in writing.
Have you got anybody going with you?
I might.
Well, it's not me.
No.
Unbelievable. Didn't even get a fucking invite. How rude.
Did it? Has it got lost in the post again, mate?
Again, mate. Any invites get lost in the post to me, even though we've got modern technology and stuff. Okay, so first text prediction. Obviously, we're saying Lions to take it. But
yeah. I mean, obviously, our heads are saying massive, massive, massive challenge, and South Africa are going to be bringing their AAA game. They're going to be
AAA game.
But
Triple A.
The Triple A game. But yeah, go the Lions, mate. Let's go. Let's go.
I think Lions by 5. I think it'd be really tight.
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, I bloody hope neither side run away with it. I think it needs to. Hope will be just a massive contest, really close, down to the wire, and yeah, just a few points in it. I agree, mate.
Can't wait, mate.
Smith coming off the bench to kick the winning goal, maybe.
Yeah, well, I think Gatlin's going to be naming his side soon. So
do you know when that is? Is it today, tomorrow?
Well, I've heard it was kind of imminent. I don't know, but
I know they've announced it within the squad, as into the players. Today,
have they?
This morning or last night or this morning? Yeah, I think so. So you would have thought the sort of public announcement will be fairly swiftly after that, won't it? But,
well, yeah, you would have thought so, because you don't want anybody leaking anything, do you?
No.
Just for a little bit of extra cash from the tabloids. That would be a bit naughty, but
that's not in the spirit of the Lions, mate.
No, mate, absolutely not. Absolutely. Oh, hang on.
Got go, mate. Got go.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second, mate. Hang on a second.
It's not out. Is it out?
No, hang on. South Africa have named their team.
Oh, go on then.
All right, so we have got I don't know, the front row I can't even pronounce. So they've gone for Quagga Smith at 8, Khaleesi, Detroit, Faf de Klerk, Pollard, Delande, the lad that you named a minute ago, Mamape, Colby, and LaRue. Pretty much that back line is pretty much what the A team was, wasn't it?
Pollard wasn't there, was he?
No, but Pollard wasn't there, so that's interesting.
Other than that, isn't it?
Malcolm Marks,
back row,
mate. Khaleesi, Detroit, and who didn't, the number 8 didn't feature against the Lions in that A game is Quagga Smith.
Okay, so your Visa has missed out.
Yeah, Malcolm Marks, Kitsoff is on the bench. Lou Diega's on the bench.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starting second. What's the starting second row? Etzebeth.
What's that?
Nice.
Yanchis is on there. Well, both the Yanchis boys are on there. Damien Williams is on there as well on the bench.
Yep.
Wow.
Boom.
So the Lucerne prop has only got 2 caps for South Africa. So
okay.
Tad Burns going to have to get into that fucker completely and kick some ass.
Hey, Tad Burn.
Furlong. Tad Furlong. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that potentially could be a plus for the scrum, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that's interesting. I can't see anything. I'm just going away from the BBC on the Lions team. No, nothing so far on the Lions announcement. Maybe Gatlin was waiting to see what Razzie played. I wonder if Razzie's going to be old Waterboy again. All right, mate. Well, let's just leave it there. And obviously next week we will be back to report on the first test victory for the Lions.
Lions win.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, mate. Looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. Oh, don't forget, next week kids are obviously on half term, so we'll have to get together and work out how we're going to do the podcast.
Okay, mate. Yeah, do an evening or something.
Yeah. All right.
Cool, mate. Okay.
All right, mate. Enjoy the rest of the day. Keep your balls breezy.
And you, mate.
Always do. See you later, buddy.
Cheers.
Bye. So that brings to a conclusion episode 4 of our bonus Lions tour over the summer. Thank you once again, as ever, for listening and choosing to download our little podcast. We are, as ever, available on all major platforms such as Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. We will obviously be back next week to report on the first test from South Africa. Cannot wait for that weekend game. Fingers crossed it's the Lions victory we're going to be talking about. Needless to say, Ollie is still getting more followers over on Instagram. I'm not actually sure how he's doing it, but he's doing it. Everything keeps popping up on my phone saying this guy's following, that guy's following. So thank you very much for all the support and the love that we're getting. I'm not doing too great on Twitter. I think I've had one person that's followed us on Twitter. So maybe it's time to sack Twitter off and just focus on promoting us ourselves on Instagram. But we'll see. Anyway, we'll be back next week. Chat to you then.